Hey, what's up, guys? We're at Heart of the Game with Pruch, and what did you just do a few weeks ago?
I went 3-1 at locals, losing to. I'm sorry, I got 5th place at Toronto Regional.
Okay, and then you also got 1st place at the 3v3 event at Millenium Games. So
yeah, 1st place, and then split with the other team.
Nice.
So.
Congratulations. And what were you playing?
Cosmo with extra steps, big machines that summon themselves and pop other things.
Okay, sweet. Do you have any shout-outs before we get into the deck and then matchups?
Shout out to the Academy, and shout out to Lucas.
Shout out Lucas.
He didn't do anything, I just like him.
Lucas is the G.
Alright, so this deck's pretty good. What I like, I mean, that's not a surprise, this format, it's nothing special. Spoiler alert, this is going to be very similar like every other Rescue Ace thing I've done on this channel. But like, deck's is good. I like that it doesn't lose to like any like one card in particular. Like Unchained like has a rough time with like Nibiru and stuff. This deck, like, it doesn't matter. Even if you get evenly, you just have a crack back in the next turn, so like, just really standard ratios.
40 card deck?
Yeah. Never a card over. Really standard ratios. I guess Impulse is something a little people aren't on the fence about.
How do you like the 2 Hydrant?
Good. The 3rd one just doesn't really come up. Like, it's a good card, and you want it in like grind games, but like, you don't need the 3rd. It doesn't like help out opening hands a lot, and like if you open like too many normals, you can't really play. So 2 is just normal. Sometimes 1 Preventer gets sided out, like if I'm playing against a combo deck, because like, it's a custom card, but it also like sucks when you're trying to get going and you have nothing else.
Yeah.
Impulse is really cool at 3. Like, it's not going to help you when you're going first and like trying to play most of the time, but it like plays into boards, it fixes your hands. There's a cool like side deck maneuver you can do with this, swapping this out for Fire Attacker. So overall, like, very good card. Glad I saw it at 3. Standard ratios for the most part. Wee woo. Also super standard is just these. Nothing fancy.
Yeah, nothing to say.
Nothing at all. And then also pretty standard is these. I've been trying around like the 2nd D-Bell Star like many people, but like it's not that great. While this engine's very good, you want it for consistency. Drawing too many of them also just means your hand is terrible. In fact, again, even if you're playing against like a very like combo heavy deck, like sometimes like one of these is a consideration to get sided out. Because again, you just have the 6th card going 2nd, and like if you open too many of these, it doesn't do anything. But very good package. This one's not shiny because you don't want to draw it. This card should be live in theory, but you draw it so many times and you don't have another thing to put on the board, you're like, this card's cool. But the DBL Start package, very good.
You would still keep it at 1 though, the big girl?
For now, yeah. Cool being at 1. No desire really to try a 2nd again. I had 2 in my deck when I was playing at YCS Indy, and it bogged a few times. Like, I think in the regional I had like 1 or 2 hands that were like pretty unplayable at first. One of them I still played out of. So like, you know, you could say like, oh, maybe if I played the 2nd I would have drawn it, but that's also like not true. So like, you need to make sure like your good hands are like more playable in like certain boards.
Makes sense.
2 Prosper Rhoda. Also, I'm not 100% sure this is the same list from a few weeks ago. I think I've changed a few cards, maybe just in the extra deck. But this is like pretty similar. This is probably a few cards different from what I played at Toronto in the Case Tournament. I've debated 3rd Prosperity. I don't know why you really want to cut for it, like an Impulse or a Hand Trap's a consideration, but the current math on the Hand Trap works out pretty well. But you really like this because it just, again, some hands just, once you find the right piece, are a lot better. Seeing certain side cards. Generally speaking, if you have one of these, you're just able to play through another interruption the opponent has, and this can also search Impulse on top of Lifter, so it just gives you good options, consistency. Good. And then the last 11 cards in the deck were just these. I think hand traps are really good in a very like wide open format right now. I think breakers are better if the format's like more decided. But there's also like heavier combo decks you gotta stop. And like just seeing one of these won't do the world sometimes. Like if you're playing against Branded, cool. If you're playing against Unchained, cool. Valors are pretty cool in this deck because they're a spellcaster, which I'll get into in this extra deck.
That's interesting.
Not particularly, but like they're all good. Just like the most generic stuff. I think Neb's really good right now, and people should be playing around it, but people still don't. So it's funny. And that's 40 cards.
Sure. Did you miss anything?
No. Extra deck. I know I wasn't playing Anima during the tournament. I'm not even sure if I've summoned it once since. It comes up every once in a blue moon. Again, people shouldn't be playing into this card, but some people do. And then like you have the extra deck space, so like I know I wasn't playing this in Toronto, but like I didn't. It's okay. Like this card's cuttable, but it comes up every once in a while. This card's great. This card you only make sometimes, like if you're going first, you know your opponent's on like purrely. You want to make sure you have something to like go into this to get rid of the street. Best P is great.
Do you miss the second?
Like one time between both the last like bigger tournaments, I was like, it would have been nice to have an SP, but I still won that game. I just had to grind out like 2 more turns. So like it can come up, but like I'd rather just have the flex spots for other cards.
Okay.
It's cool going first. Some people are like, oh, this protects turbulence. It doesn't really, but you can make it before turbulence a lot, and then like they have to use their imperm like on the summon, so you can like link it away and summon another turb or like summon it back. So like, as long as your hand's not like awful, summoning this first like just forces out your opponent's stuff early. These are great. Honestly, this is probably the least summon card in Extra Deck.
Really?
No, it's crazy. This really isn't interesting. Yeah, it's really not interesting, but I notice a lot of Rescuers players don't play Selene, and I think it's incorrect. I just think Selene, this actually comes up a lot. It's one of like the top like 8 most made cards in the Extra Deck, because you go into one of these, which you always have access to, you go into this, and then you could summon back Valor or Droll or Diabell Star, and it just gives you that link in this. Rescuers is one of those decks you have to have good like min-max plays with. You sometimes only have a few monsters on the board to work with, and you just have to like make the most with what you've got. And like this just gives you the bridge into this, and then once you summon this, a lot of times you're just in a very stable spot. So Selene comes up quite a bit. Also, like, it's funny, like, I don't know, if you have a D-Bell start from an earlier turn, you can bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, like, give you setup again. So, like, Selene's cool. It comes up a lot.
That's cool.
But, like, pretty standard stuff. This card usually gets made a lot. I actually don't think I made it once in Toronto or in Rochester. Funny enough. It comes up sometimes. I haven't been making it recently.
Would it ever be cuttable?
But only, like, I feel like Animal will get cut first, but if I need to cut 2 slots, like, yeah, this would probably also get cut. It gets made way less now that, like, this deck is, like, SP access. But still, like, good. Comes up in grind games, recycling Ash and, like, control matchups is funny. Terahertz, you make it sometimes, you don't go for it every single game because you don't want to, like, overextend to it. But when you make it, it's good. I still really like these as opposed to, like, the full package. Even though you don't get the add back of the Firewall, you do save on a few slots, and this gives you a really cool line of access code with, like, an Earth and a Water. And normally the only attributes you have in Graveyard are like Dark and Fire, sometimes Light with Selene.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, it's weird to say, but like just having one more attribute for access code does matter. So it's cool. This gets made and then it's very hard for the opponent to deal with. But you always try to resolve Turbulence first before going for it.
Wonderful.
And then this card's come up a few times. I think one of the crazier games, I had like a grind against like I made it once or twice, but I had a grind against like a Pendulum Magician Duelist. And like I need to like get rid of like a few different boss monsters, and this was like my only way to out to a Vortex. It was neat. It comes up, it's good.
Yep.
And then also, I think I summoned this once in the mirror match, and the dude tried to Turbulence. I was like, read.
Great.
So yeah, I think that's 22 card extra deck.
Wonderful.
No, but no, I wasn't running Anima, and I wasn't running maybe just Anima was something else. I think it was a Cowboy during the tournament, but like. This deck just doesn't take that long to play. I didn't go into time once, so...
Okay.
I just don't go into time with this deck, so Cowboy got cut.
Nice.
You need this format. Unchained and TEARLAMENT are also purrely are good decks. So
do you just like the 3 Druid Swarm? No, nothing else, so that's fine.
Yeah, no, so this is better than Magnemut, I think, because against Unchained, you'd rather just have this body stick on board before the Caesar comes out, and then, like, it threatens it.
Yep.
So, it's neat.
Fair enough.
This is an idea stolen from Steven Santoli.
Shout out.
Yeah. He's great with the deck, and I think he asked me after the regional if I was doing anything cool. I was like, stealing ideas from you. But you side this in over Fire Engine in like the combo matchups, which I played a lot of in Toronto, and then it turns Impulse into a pseudo Phantasme, because as you see, like you main a lot of hand shapes, you side deck more, and then you fix your hands to it. So it's really cool. Also, people don't realize this card like works for like whenever cards add back to your hand. That Pendulum guy, like a card went from the extra deck to the hand, like Fire Tecker effect. It's cool.
It's really good.
It's cool.
I see why you sided it versus main.
These were Solemn Judgments in the actual regional. I did not play these in the regional.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, but I set Judgment like 3 times and ended up flipping it once.
You swapped them to moons though?
Yeah, I swapped them to moons. The main reason why, well, it is a cool card going first because like it can like put your Turbulence face down to dodge some hand traps.
Yeah.
Is the regional from like a week or 2 ago was before Centurion came out, now Centurion comes out, and this is another good card against that matchup.
Yes.
Because you can stop them from like turn skipping you. I don't know what kind of sick person would play turn skip decks.
I know, no one would.
No one would at all. Check out the top 4 puppet profile. But so this was Solemn Judgment for the regional, which is a fine card. But I set 3 times, and it was just insurance. I didn't actually need to flip it once. So we're trying out Book of Moon. Then Evenly's good.
Still like Evenly, still believe in it.
Oh, for sure. If you're playing against like a solid Rescue Ace player, this isn't gonna like FTK them, but it does make like, you know, once you get through their back row, like even if you have like an imperm in hand, you don't need to imperm their Turbulence, so you can just let them commit, and then they can't recycle their stuff anymore because it's banished face down. Because really, unless they have Terahertz or like the Synchros, they don't have a way to like negate this.
Yeah.
So you set this in the mirror match, and like they still have a good crackback you have to deal with, but like you're just in a way better spot. This is good against like Labyrinth and a lot of other decks, and they won't Eradicator it because it's a trap. So Evenly's great against like a slew of matchups.
Do you like it better for the than Feather Duster for that reason?
Yes. So Feather Duster, again, like Eradicator can hit it. In the mirror match, like it sends it to the graveyard, but then they can still like recycle their stuff back. So like, Evenly is just good. Even though like you lose your battle phase, whatever. This is ultimately Rescue Ace plays like a control deck most games. So.
All right, fantastic. Do you want to talk about your matchups quickly?
Sure. So I suck. This deck sucks. Round 1, I lost to 60 card Earth Machine. That was my only loss in Toronto.
How did that happen?
I got him game 1 because I was playing Rescue Ace, and then game 2, I got like, I had a Nibiru, which I think I nibbed him in a slightly bad time. Then he thrusted me for like a talents for like two really good draws for my career. And then game 2, I think he had like Ash Imperm at 60, so he's better. So I started off 0-1 to Earth Machine. Then round 2, I beat Rika 2-1. Round 3, I played against, I think, Millenium 2-0. I think I lost die roll to like all these combo decks, so again, like the hand traps mattered.
Wow.
Round 4 was like the Pen Magician / other Pendulum matchup, which was honestly like, I think we went like 12 or 14 turns. Game 2, we just grinded. I 2-0'd him, but like it was a cool deck and like a cool game. Round 5 was Dragon Link 2-0. Round 6 was, I think round 6 and 7 were the Rescue Ace mirrors. One of them I had a brick hand, one of them my other Rescue Ace opponent, really good player, unfortunately had a brick hand. So I think I won one of them 2-0, one of them 2-1. Round 8 was Tri-Brigade Sprite at like table 2, which was 2-1. I lost the game to that, and then round 9 I think was Flu 2-0. So there was a lot of Purrely and TEARLAMENT in the room. I didn't see it. It was there.
Loser.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then yeah.
Nice.
That was fine. I had hand traps.
Wonderful. Congratulations on doing so well, and looking forward to what you're seeing doing in the new year.
It'll be something access code.
All right, sounds good. Have a good one. Bye now. Leave like and subscribe.